Hey guys, this is the video on how to start, where to start really. If you have a business and you are doing all the work, this is where you want to start. So I'm just going to go over, um, I'm going to go over exactly how to start if you don't have any kind of VA or anything like that, okay? So let's see. So you want to think of, okay, what am I going to be doing a lot of that I can delegate, right? And that's really how you want to start with all this. And this is super important that you do this because you want to free up your time. For me, a lot of what I was doing was all customer service and generating new leads. And immediately that's what I did. So I hired a virtual assistant to first generate leads for me, and that's how I started. Um, but I want you to think of, okay, what processes and systems can I delegate? Like, what can I delegate to a virtual assistant so I can free up my time? For me, like I said, it was sales, marketing, and just keeping my whole business organized. But what I first started out was lead generation and sales. And that's what I did. So for you, you want to think, maybe if you're a social media person, you can have somebody reach out to other entrepreneurs for you. You can have your virtual assistant make quotes and send emails. And, you really can have your virtual assistant do anything for you that you don't feel like doing. Like for me, I have a lot of times I will literally just get my virtual assistant to remind me of things. Just remind me, and then they remind me. Like it sometimes it's just random stuff. You could literally start out with that, but what I would totally suggest is to just hire one person and get them to start, and then everything else will fall in line. And that's how it happened. It's not always going to be perfect. It's not always going to be totally like, it's not always going to be perfect, man. Like you got to get started someday. It's not going to be the perfect assistant, not going to be the perfect time. And you're not going to exactly know exactly what to teach them at some points. And you got to be okay with that. But right now, I'm literally at the point where all I do is check my invoices and um, approve purchasing and everything else my virtual assistants do. They literally do all my customer service. They do all my lead generation. They do all my marketing for me. Actually, I hired somebody to do my marketing, but they do the other some other kinds of marketing too as well. They organize my business. They're in talks with all of my wholesalers, and they what was the last one? Oh, they do my invoices for me. So all I have to do is check over the invoices and make sure they line up. So I'm literally not doing much. I'm only doing like the important things, like talking with my marketing, the new guy that I hired, and thinking about strategy and thinking about bigger ticket things, and forming relationships with new vendors and stuff like that. Like literally, that's what I'm doing, and everything else, 95% of the work is all it's all delegated, right? And that's what you want to get to. Just think, what are you doing a lot of that you can delegate? Is it the sales process? A lot of people online delegate their sales process. And the way that you do that, I mean, that's a whole art in itself. You have to really know the sales part. But I'm sure if you've bought this course, you're somebody that's overworked and overwhelmed. You know the sales process well. Um, you really just want to start by one, figuring out, okay, what job do I want them to do? Write out the process. Write out, if it's sales, especially if it's sales, you want to create templates for them so that they can use for every objection. And I literally have like a library of objections that my virtual assistants use whenever they're doing their sales stuff. So, and this goes back to, and we'll talk about this on, I've already made this segment, but I talk about this later on in this course. This goes back to making it 100% so easily copy paste system, so that your virtual assistants can literally copy and paste templates. They can copy and paste certain actions. Like, you literally want to make a copy and paste system. Think about it like that. And you will get to that, but it just takes time. Now, up front, you don't want to totally focus on that because you may not know all the objections and you may not know exactly what's coming at you. In the beginning, whatever job that you want them to do, you want to write out that process and give them everything that they need, and then put it on a worksheet, and then also make a video for them. You see what I'm saying here, guys? It's all about creating a library and creating videos, a library of videos of support, so that they don't have to go back to you. So, I'm just talking the long term, the long game right now, but I want you to think of, okay, what can I delegate? And this also, and think about this too, because a lot of times what will come up in your head is like, oh, they won't do as good as a job as me. Like, you have to let that shit go. Like, you straight up have to let that shit go, because yeah, they might not do as good a job as you, and you might make less money, but you're going to free up your time so that, let's just say, you're just making like 85% less. So maybe you're making 15% less than what you were making before, but you freed up 5-6 hours of the day, or 7. So you need to start thinking like that. Like, think like a business owner, not a self-employed person. The job doesn't have to get done perfectly, but as long as it gets done and you're being profitable and you're saving time, that's all that matters. Okay, so think of, so on this one, I want you to just stop the video and I want you to think of, okay, what do I do the most? Write out the process. Maybe it's your sales, maybe it's your customer service, maybe it's like social media. Write out the process, write out how it's done, and then think about how much time it takes for you, and then go from there. And then the next step would be hiring. Because this is perfect. You want to write this out so you can hire somebody so that they can do this. So you have something to work with to match up with resumes, whatever. All right. This is really simple stuff. But it's so simple, but people are afraid. Legit. Like, they're legitimately afraid of the work and the growing pains. And we'll talk about that next, but I just want you to think of, okay, what can I delegate? Write out that process, write out any system you need for it, and then, keep going from there. Okay. Write out as much as you can. And then just think, how much time is that going to save you? For me, it was sales. Like I said earlier, it was sales and the marketing aspect that I delegated. And I think a lot of you will probably delegate that. So the next section, I'll talk about how to create a great sales process. All right? Awesome.